You mentioned UATP. So now we need to understand what UATP is.
All right. UATP is a global payment network created by airlines. It's a private company fully owned by airlines. There are no banks. And all we do is to seek ways to reduce distribution costs and add value to all members of our network.
Does it pay off?
It does, because our shareholders, the airlines, APG here is one of our shareholders and issuers. They are pretty happy with the performance and the results brought by having UATP, accepting UATP as a form of payment, as well as establishing UATP accounts, creating their own form of payment to reduce costs, because then they can replace expensive bank cards by their own form of payment.
As far as I know, the whole system and the network were established quite a long time ago.
Yes.
But since then, the world has changed actually too much. How has your product evolved during all those years?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Alex. It was actually created in 1936, so it's over 80 years old. And the reason we are here today and very effective is because instead of products, we focus on creating solutions for our users. So this is it. We are a very solution-driven company to the airlines, and we evolve with the airlines, with the air travel industry constantly.
But on the same time, you have to compete with one of the dinosaurs, so to say, of the industry, which are the banks. They're on the other shore. How difficult is that, and what is the added value that your customers, the airlines, are actually receiving that they can later transfer onto the end customer, which is the passenger?
Yes, indeed. Our direct competitors are the bank cards, the main, the big bank cards networks. The way we compete is that, one, UATP is a very niche product. We do not pretend or intend to replace 100% of the bank cards for the airlines. What we do is to speak and focus with the airline on where is the pain, their main problem is, and bring solutions and progressively expand the UATP, say, share of their business. UATP is purely business to business, B2B purely, but we have evolved recently in the past 10 years. We created ways to also add alternative payment methods, forms of payment used by individuals. So this is one of the ways we added value. And finally, we also compete most recently during the pandemic, we identified the need for the airlines to have another payment service provider in the marketplace. So we did create our own solution for payment service provider, or PSP, called UATP One. Basically, now we have three lines of businesses, three pillars, which are the UATP card, which is purely B2B. We integrate via UATP rails alternative payment methods, and now a PSP solution.
Actually, with all fairness and honesty, we might say that you're like the founding fathers of the blockchain, but in another terms.
Yes.
Or in another time.
In another time, yes, yes. It's interesting because we do too integrate with blockchains and cryptocurrencies. We have some airlines that are members of the network, merchants of the network, that recently announced the integration of a crypto form of payment via UATP rails.
Yes. That was my next and following question. It was like kind of introduction to it, because crypto is now the hype of the world. Everybody's talking about it, but at the same time, you have to know a lot, know the basics in order not to get burnt, because there are a lot of fake cryptocurrencies, fake coins, and so on, and the market is quite volatile. And on that front, UATP seems like a fortress, because you're so stable for so many years. So what are the differences and the similarities between what you do and the crypto that we know nowadays?
Well, first off, UATP, we do not have our crypto on our own.
Yeah.
What we do is that we identified a processing partner, as we call it, a crypto form of payment, a cryptocurrency that partners with us. the one thing we do is because of our past, our reputation, we are very selective in partnering, with another company.
Yeah.
So what we did was to make sure that this cryptocurrency partner of ours is a reliable company that will effectively bring benefit and good results to the airlines. So it's not ourselves, it's our processing partner that handles these, let's say, the business itself that owns this form of payment, not us. What we do is to integrate, to facilitate the integration of new partners to the airlines.
Yeah, and speaking about integration, how about loyalty? Because we know that many airlines and other players in the airline business, and not just in the airline business, hospitality as well and so on, are relying on loyalty programs. And
Yes.
loyalty is another form of payment. You can pay by points, you can be a loyal member, get benefits and so on. So how integrated is UATP in the loyalty field? Or if not, what are you planning to do about it?
Well, no, we are. Actually, and again, UATP, we are the network.
Yeah.
The the airlines are the ones that decide how to use our platforms, our solutions to mold their own UATP program. We have over 30 issuers, and you do not have two identical programs. So each airline creates their very own product.
So you're quite
UATP.
flexible.
Yes, it's custom made. And coincidentally, recently, this year, one European issuer, an airline in Europe, used UATP to launch their program based on their loyalty program. Basically what they did, they monetized the miles and offered the clients the possibility to exchange their miles or points against money, and they established this prepaid account. So let's say, Alex, you have, say, 100,000 miles that equates to, say, 5,000 euro.
Yeah.
So here is, if you have the choice to keep your miles, or here is a prepaid UATP account, pre-funded with 5,000 euros, that was the equivalent of the miles, and you can use it as a form of payments to buy tickets on our airline. And the benefit, and again, all we do has to be a win-win. And one of the biggest benefits to the user is that oftentimes miles, to buy tickets with miles, it's a little restrictive. You don't have that many seats available, etc. And contrarily, money is money. You can buy any ticket, any seat, and any flight of that issuer airline. So yes, we are playing that field. And again, UATP, we are the enabler. We assist the airlines to creatively, use our platforms and solution.
To me, that sounds like Avios, if you're allowed to say who the client is.
I can't tell the name, but I wouldn't say it's that one, but another one of another European group, which is highly beneficial because the beneficiary or the end customer, the passenger, can use these monies or prepaid account as a form of payment, UATP, to buy tickets on the issuing airlines or any other airlines of this group.
Yeah.
They are one of the various airlines in the group. So very creative, and it's a win-win because to the airline, having a big miles passive, too many points or too many miles unused, is a liability to the airline. So there was a win-win solution enabled using UATP platforms.
That was actually a good explanation. I think many people don't understand how those programs are working, and this can clear up at least a little bit the things for them.
Yes.
And at the end, the question is what the future holds for UATP and for that kind of a system. Because we see how the world is developing now. There are crises over crises that are coming, and this seems like a safe haven for your clients, for the airlines.
Yes, and again, they are our shareholders. So UATP, the network's future, is directly bonded to the airlines or the air
and they're
travel
shareholders
industry.
and clients at the same time.
Yes.
So it's an interesting mixing hybrid.
Yes, and then what we do, Alex, is that the airlines come to us for consultancy, really.
Yeah.
So what we do, we always focus on this, how to reduce distribution costs, how to add value to our members. And basically what we do is we keep an attentive ear listening to our customers because they are clients and owners of us. They have two roles.
Yeah.
And we have this very close integration, and we work with them actively to improve and adapt and adjust to the different crises, different scenarios, and it varies a lot. So the industry is highly impacted by, of course, we had the pandemic, we don't need to waste time mentioning that, but we have the legislation in some countries. There is specific legislation that may impact the air business, air traffic, so this kind of thing. UATP, we're always there beside them, working with them and for them. That's what I do.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.